I rarely, once I finish a page, I rarely go back and look and see what I've done. Mostly it's just there, I get it out in my head and then close it and turn the page. I kind of more so like to practice. There's Julia Cameron who does the artist way, and whether her method of working is that you go write stream of conscious 3 pages front and back every morning. And after you're done the 3rd page, you close it and you don't go back and read it. So sometimes I just like to treat my sketchbooks again that way. I just get down the idea quickly, move along, and don't go back and revisit what is down there. My name is Nathan Eugene Carson, and I'm an artist here in Hamilton, Ontario. Here in my studio, and today we're working on, I'm showing you how I work through my sketchbook, or as I like to call it, more an idea book. The way I treat my sketchbook is, again, very open. Anyone can come and look in it, read through it, and the way I like to work in my sketchbook mostly is I go out into different spaces in Hamilton, Ontario, just collecting random bits of garbage or recycled materials, and they somehow always seem to find their way into my sketchbook, whether it's pieces of magazines or old dirty cocktail napkins or rust. I really like old rusty things. Lots of car parts always seem to fall off on the street, so I usually collect them and collage a piece of cardboard underneath or on top of a piece of rust, then create an eye. Birds' feathers are always good to either use as a material to paint with and or as something in my sketchbook, just to kind of have as whether I'm using it as a border, or like I said, something maybe more so to grab some paint and a pen and quill and write with. And then if I don't when I write, sometimes I smear it, and that becomes part of the process. So I really do treat my sketchbook, like I said, idea book, more as a final piece of art rather than a beginning process to then go and work on a larger piece of paper. Usually I'm always working with bits of papers, and I have different envelopes that I have, whether it's the attributes to a human quality or just scraps of paper, and I always kind of like to label them the year that I find them. So I have different scraps from 2021 versus from 1996. So I think also too, when I'm done a sketchbook, I kind of always add what I found within the year or two, because I can fill them up, or they get filled up rather quickly, and then that goes in the book too. So like I said, by the time the sketchbook's done and it's ready to close cover to cover, they're rather large. A good example would be, Torth, you just pass me that stack right there, that whole stack. So this would be a good example of a sketchbook that I worked on over COVID in the last year, where it was lots of different faces and different characters. But it started as a book, and then it got so large I actually flipped it and had to use a new binding. And then also too, I'm able to just add in extra sketches from multiple books. So it started as 2, and then now it's just become 1. Before COVID hit, I was extremely blocked as an artist, but I then don't go into my books to unblock myself, because I think for me, like my inspiration is my superpower, so I understand when it's there and when it's not there. So when my inspiration isn't there, I heard a really good quote from the singer Erykah Badu where she called her blocked period the downloading period. So when I am in my downloading blocked period, I read a lot of books, I watch a lot of other artist documentaries, I go to a lot of art shows, listen to different pieces of music, talk to a lot of people. That's the way I usually find that I unblock myself versus to try to throw it out on the page, because when I'm blocked, I know that I'm not gonna like anything that I put down, and it makes me even more frustrated, and that's just not the way my process works. You can find what needs to be found for free versus having to go out and buy it, and that there's a rich resource of material if you just open your mind and walk as far as your recycling bin and or outside your front door, that you can find scraps that can be somebody's teeth or scraps that could come to be somebody's eye. I found on the road walking just the other day this "I'd rather go fishing" sign, so right away I brought it home because I thought to myself, instead of using the the right side, I would use the back of this plate as a border or a physical page in the notebook.